My name is Mike. I'm from the States, obviously. Today we're going to go over some lockdown escapes. If you don't know what lockdown is, I'm going to go really quickly through kind of a scenario of the two favorite sweeps from lockdown. It's a half guard system, mostly 10th planet stuff, but I kind of adapted it to myself over the years. And then I'll show you how to get out of it, because most people who don't play it don't really know how to get out of it, and it's actually very simple. Lockdown, instead of doing a traditional inside leg out for half guard, like leg triangling, you go outside leg in, you cross your ankle, and you scoop your opponent's foot. You do not put both feet underneath your opponent's shin. I'll show you an example of this in a minute. Cross your own ankle, scoop your opponent's instep. Canute. So, really quickly, traditional, inside here, you can play knee shield, you can do all this stuff from inside. I personally prefer to play inside or outside in, and then I scoop the leg. The reason why is I get to get underneath my opponent's hips, and I can move them pretty well. Okay? Most of the time, when I get to this position, my opponent will base out on their hands and their knee. So I can above my head, and I can pick a side now. I can go for the toes and pull in and sweep, or I can basically his leg out. I can switch back. I really enjoy that system. So for me, traditional half guard puts me under a lot of pressure because I have guys that I fight that are as heavy as me, and it's terrible. So really quickly, I'll go over the sweeps really slowly, and then I'll go over how to get out of them, okay? So again, lockdown is outside leg across first, and I cross my own instep, and I hook my opponent's foot down by the bottom of their foot, the top portion of their foot. So one, I go underneath this part right here. Two, so that I have a little scissors that I can maneuver in and out. If their knee's on the ground and they're way heavy and low, that's okay. I want to fight for the underhooks anyways. Okay? When I get underhooks, my knees will come to my chest. I'm not trying to lift my feet. I'm trying to bring my knees up because I want their weight above me. Did everyone see that okay? Okay. So we'll start here. I'll get underhooks. I'll set up the basic two sweeps, and then I'll show you how to break those up, okay? So I go above my head, just base it on your knees. Here's the first setup. I turn to my side. I reach for the toes. I push, I pull. Notice where his leg is at. Then we can pass. Okay? I'll do it from the side so you guys can see. Outside leg in, cross my ankles, hook the feet, prefer the underhooks up to the side. We're gonna grip at the toes, not the ankle. If you grab the ankle and he punches his leg down, he'll get out. And then I have to switch my other one. So I go toes. I pull the toe, I sweep the leg, and I push with my arm. I come over on top. Second one, he bases out. Look what I've got. Easy peasy. I plant my right foot. I use my right hand. I switch my hips underneath my opponent, and I go back the other way. Does that make sense? So I want everyone to try that, just so you understand what the sweeps can do, and then we'll go into how to break out. Good?
Question?
Yes.
For the last one, is there a difference between a C-cup grip or hugging the leg?
Depends on how tall your opponent is. If you can't hug the leg, you can reach with behind the knee with the hand. Do that. I find, personally, if I put my hand behind the knee, I can then push and come up. Whereas if I hug, they can hit down into my chest and put more pressure, so they can go here to sprawl. Whereas if I lift the leg, they go back. I'm short, so I'm able to get underneath most people. That works better for me. Cool. But if you can reach it, try it. Questions? Good. 1, 2. I could spend probably 5 hours teaching you guys those two sweeps, but that was just to give you an idea of what you can have done to you when you're in the lockdown. I'm going to teach you better how to prevent this from happening. There are a lot of lockdown players out there, especially 10th Planet guys. I trained with them for many years. It's easier to block this than you know. The position I'm going to show you is, I want you to keep something in mind. Keep your head tight to the body. Keep your shoulders tight to your head. Don't let them guillotine you. You should have positional control because you're going to go underneath the hips in an S grip. You're going to use a sprawl, so your foot that's stuck in the lockdown, think about pushing your heel towards the wall behind you. Okay, so you're going to go underneath, pressure down, punch, and you're going to work the leg to escape. Okay? Knut is actually taller than me, but this will still work. He goes lockdown. Okay, let's turn around this way a little bit. So everyone sees the controlling point is where his foot is connected to my foot. Okay, that's what makes the lockdown special. When he scissors his legs, I lose my base. That's where lockdown is effective. Okay, so first, I want to dive my head to the hip opposite where my arm is at, opposite the side that's stuck. If I go same side, it's much harder to get my leg free. Okay, so my head is going to come to his hip, my arm's going to bear hug underneath his butt. I'm going to S grip. If you can reach gable grip, go for it. I'm short and I have short arms, so that's just me. Okay, so we're going to S grip behind the butt, head stays down to the pocket, shoulders stay tight, no guillotines. Okay, pressure the leg is going to go straight back. I'm going to punch my heel towards her. And I'm going to try and get my legs free. And then I'm going to go to the side of his body and I work my way to the side mount. So I go here, I feel the lockdown get in. Immediately I'm going to post up and drop my head. My hands go behind the butt in an S grip. It doesn't matter really which one is on top. Just control your grip. Head stays low, shoulder comes up. I make a boot with my foot, turning my toes in, and I punch straight for the back wall. I then bring my body to the side that's open. This one. From here, I can either walk my way up to side mount, or I can do what I like to do, which is right to twister. And then the mount becomes easy. Okay? So again, he goes over under, gets the lockdown. Before he gets his underhooks, my head is down. Not up here where he can guillotine me. Down. Hands underneath. Shoulder to my ear. Pressuring in. Boot on my foot. Heel punches to the wall. Block the knee and come up. That makes sense. It's pretty simple. He's got long legs. If you put 100% pressure onto it, it'd be harder for me to punch my leg through. But as long as I have a good underhook on his behind and I can push my heel away, I'm going to undo the strongest part of his feet, which is that cross at the ankles. Once it's opened, my leg can come out and I go to the same side where most of my body is at so that I can push him off. Any questions on that?
What grip do you make?
You can go S grip, gable grip. Don't ever do this. But this is fine, or S grip. It's very hard to do this if you don't grip something because you're relying on this pressure right here. When you grip, shrug. Head stays low. This keeps you from getting guillotined. It also gives you maneuverability with your shoulders. Okay? I find that if I go gable grip, my elbows stay down a little bit. I don't have enough oomph sometimes. So I want to really bring it up. Okay? Good question. Anyone else? Let's give it a shot. 1, 2.
Ich reiße es eh auf. Mach, ne? Oder wenn ich einfach aufgestimmt werde. Sofort. Ansonsten lassen wir es. Bitte reißen wir es einfach auf.
Very good so far. It normally takes people quite a while to understand this, but it's pretty simple. Some of you have short legs like me, and you get stuck. You get the boot off, the feet uncross, but they're still crossing over your leg, right? You're not going low enough with your shoulder. Okay? Use the camera again. So I'll go this way. This time so you can all kind of see what I do with my legs. If I'm too high where I place my head, I may get enough leverage to break the grip. Keep your legs crossed over. Keep them crossed. But I can get stuck here. He doesn't have my foot anymore, but I can still get stuck with this crossover. That's because my head is too high. My head is up by the ribs. My shoulders are blocking. I can reach behind the butt, but I can't get any more leverage for my leg. I want to go as low as possible because now my shoulders are now my base. My head is now my base. The leverage is going to come from my leg straight through. And I can go further. And then I can feel that leg. That makes sense? A couple of people that are shorter like me got stuck with this. So it's a very important point. If your legs get, you break the grip, but your legs still are crossed over, go lower. And you can adjust mid-escape. Say I start too high, he gets me in lockdown. I start at the shoulders so I can reach my grip. Oh, good. I break the grip, but he's still got the legs. I can readjust. Does that make sense? So we're gonna add that little bit right now, drill it for a few minutes, then we'll go into the next next escape, okay? Good, any questions about that? Okay, 1, 2. Thank you guys. Two things real quick before we go to the next escape. Lockdown is dynamic. It's not going to be a static, oh, I got you in lockdown, you're not going to get out. No. Lockdown is meant to sweep. Okay? You can go into 2 or 3 different sweeps. You can go into the electric chair and other submissions. You can go into chill and take the back. There's all kinds of stuff you can do from lockdown. Again, I could spend 5 hours teaching you just that. Some of you get stuck, even still, with, oh, I can't get enough leverage to get the leg out. It's either your head is not low enough or your leg is coming out to the side when you punch free instead of straight down. If you go straight down, you go against the cross of where his feet are or her feet, and that's the power point for this, okay? If you go to the side, they can move with you. Okay, so run the circle move. Watch my legs. Go in, just lock down. I'm gonna go to the side a little bit instead of going straight down, and watch what happens. So I get here and I think, okay, I got this. My head goes here, my hands go here, and I go this way. Oh, I'm so stuck. No, my leg's going this way. Keep your ankles crossed now.
Yep.
Okay. Doesn't matter how low I go now, he still has that angle on my leg. I have to re-square and push back. Notice that my knee is not on the ground. My knee is always up, and I'm always sliding my whole body down to put pressure on his leg. You can't see it where you're at, but my hip is actually on his knee. And I'm keeping that pressure and squeezing my elbows together by the hips and driving it down so that I can fit next to it instead of getting stuck in the position. Does that make sense? Some of you guys are doing that, okay? Second one about the lockdown itself. Come over here so I can lock down you. The lockdown is not a static position. I don't sit here, get locked down. I go, okay, I got him, cool. What'd he just do? He just stepped out. My lockdown has to be dynamic. I have to add pressure. I want to control his hip to his shoulders. I can go this way when he goes that way. I can go this way when he goes that way. My underhooks are key. I want to be able to push his base so that I can control where he goes. He bases out on his knee. Again, we go into the old school sweep or the twist back to plan B, or worst comes to worst, I come out. I've created a big open door. Okay, the lockdown is dynamic, it's not static. Next escape I want to show you, in my opinion, is usually easier for people to get, which is why I started with the harder pressure one first. This one is, I'm just gonna unhook my leg. To do that, there's several different ways. I'll show you the easiest, which is turn the hip. So, you guys all know what windshield wipers are, right? This is gonna be my base position. He puts me in lockdown, my leg goes back. I wanna bring my knee back up, and I wanna windshield wiper my heel to the mat. My knee is now facing the inside, and I'm gonna bring it back and up into traditional half guard. Now his inside leg is connecting. His outside leg is on the outside. I can leg ride, leg drag, shield block, go traditional side mounts, and just pull my leg out. Okay, so we go lockdown. He's got longer legs than I do, so this one actually will be more difficult for me, but it'll still work. I get my underhooks, I feel the lockdown immediately. I don't want to bury my head on this one. I actually want to have my hands close to his sides so that I can pop up and turn my hip. It's out. I turn back. I bring this up and I fight from here. I can clear it. I can use it. Again, I always like to get them out from here, and it's an easy step. Okay? So, again, it's windshield wiper with the hip, not just the foot. Yes, I can just pull my foot up, but again, if he's being dynamic, he's gonna follow me with the pressure. Okay? So, I go up and I go out fast. It's not just this, okay, my foot is free. Oh, now I have to turn this way. If he's smart, he's just gonna do scissors and turn. Okay, so I go in, hands for pressure, posture's good, hip turns, my foot comes out in the windshield wiper. I like to make it hit the mat so I know I'm doing it right. Then I turn back. Okay? The reason why I like to personally turn back and keep my knee underneath his leg is because it lets me drive up into my favorite twister back. Twister side mount to the back, step over for the mount. Okay? If I leave my knee down on the ground from the lockdown position, so say I do this and I get it, I'm exposing myself because I don't have any base over here. If he just turns his hip this way, I'm on my back. So I go out, turn back in. Okay? Out, turn back in. Always fight. Okay? Questions about that? Good? Let's give it a try. 1, 2. I'm gonna cover a couple of basic things that happen quite a bit with this real quick, and then I'll spend the last couple minutes just drilling it and asking questions and answering questions. Okay. Any major questions so far that I haven't answered? I had a question about knee bars. Yes, you can knee bar from here. I won't go into it. It'll take a lot longer than I have. Okay, but she wants to feel it from here, so lockdown. First, let's do the lockdown the right way.
Yes.
Okay, this leg goes first. Nope, get this one out of the way. This one goes first.
Yep.
Cross your ankles. Scoop underneath. Scoop my foot from underneath. So let me turn this way. If your feet are not like this, not lockdown. If you take your foot, take this foot back out.
Yep.
Cross over the top.
Yep.
This is not lockdown. This will not stop me from pressuring through your legs. I had another question over here about this too. If you're crossing over and then what we call ankle riding with your own ankles, you're like scooping on and holding onto their calf. It doesn't actually stop me, even if I'm in an up position. Okay, you need to have that instep on my instep to create the dynamic pressure. Okay, so lock down part correctly. Good, there. Okay. If my opponent is completely turning to their side, I'm not going to worry about doing any of the other stuff. I'm going to turn my hip, I'm going to step up, and down. Okay? If they're giving you something, take it. It's free. Okay? Start more on your back this time. Okay, lock down. Yeah, there you go. It's a common mistake because you think, oh, I've got both ankles, I'm good. Not necessarily the case.
So this one's in first.
Yes, this one's in first. Outside leg first. I'm gonna do the windshield wiper. So I'm up here. I'm gonna take my knee and my foot and move them at the same time. So from this to this. My next goal, and I showed some of you guys this, is I want to bring my knee that's on the bottom up to my chest before I turn back. And in fact, I want to do it all in one motion. So the knee that is now up is going down, and my other knee that's down is going to come up. All in one motion. Okay? So I'm here, I turn my hip. This knee goes down, my other knee comes up through the middle towards me, and I turn my hips. Notice. Up. Even if she keeps her legs crossed, and I have to fight this, the good fight of, oh, now I want to escape. Out. If she keeps her ankles really crossed, and I get here, and it's really stuck. As long as I get my knee free, like this instead. Does that make sense? Okay. Does that feel a little better?
Yeah, I was curious about the lockdown because of not knowing if to enter this one in first or this one in first.
Yeah. Where's Knut? Yep. Yeah. Thank you, sir. One more time with the importance of where the feet go, and then we will just drill some stuff. Okay. Over here so everybody can kind of see the legs. Remember, dynamic, right? I'm never just going to be like, ha, I got locked down, I'm cool. No. I'll threaten butterfly, make him worry about this. I'll pull him into my lockdown. I want left or right, not dead center. If I go dead center, I may have his leg, his hip, his shoulders, and his body. But if he puts his hips back down to the mat, I'm gonna get blasted. So I wanna go up and out and pick a side. Bear hug the hip. Okay? Or pick a side the other way. And go the other way. We can go electric chair, we can go all kinds of stuff. Okay? That makes sense? This maintains pressure whether I'm up to this side, which is more dangerous for the knee, or this side. Okay? If I want an electric chair, come up, do the splits, make them tap. Okay? If I want to clear the leg, absolutely can just tap. Okay? That makes sense. Questions? Yes?
Do you have suggestions what to avoid for the knee? Because I see quite a lot of pressure for the trapped knee.
Being the top person, how to avoid getting,
Yeah.
immediately get your hips down. Get the bend back in your knee. If I have him fully extended in my lockdown, and I'm extending his leg straight and then adding rotation, it's dangerous for his knee. If he can get his hips down low and bend that knee, I'm considerably less leverage against his foot, which means I don't have the knee. Does that make sense? Okay. And again, in this position, I don't want him down here, which is why underhooks are so important in lockdown. If I can't get underhooks, I cannot bring him up. If he goes to heavy pressure, even if he doesn't get his leg escaped, I can't bring my knees back to my chest. I can't get the dynamic lift anymore. Okay? I have to fight and get underhooks. And then back up we go. In this top position right here? Yeah. There is a lot he can do. Mostly, his first goal is get the hips back down. Yes, drive down. Even if I have underhooks, you can always come back down. Okay? That's a good question. Any other questions? Yes, sir. I will give you a Jiu-Jitsu 101 tip. Always worry about the underhooks. I don't care what position you're in, worry about the underhooks. If he's got me in lockdown, sometimes I won't even fight the legs. I'll fight for this first. Because now I can start getting pressure. Sweep me up with the lockdown. Really hard to do. And if I straighten my foot and I'm strong enough, he can't even bend my knee most of the time. And I can start working on other ways to escape. Always get this if you can. I teach my own students back home. If your elbows leave your body, something's wrong. Unless you're already setting up submissions. Okay? Cool. Let's drill it one more time. Let's go through each sweep. Yeah.
Can I just piggyback on that?
Yeah, of course.
There's I showed this to several of you because there's one thing he does really, really well. He just hasn't explicitly told. But when you clear like the second escape,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, you go for the switch, hip switch. Like that. When he passes now, as soon as he starts going over, he goes all the way up into my armpit with his hips.
Oh, yes. When I go this,
Very tough.
I'm all the way up to the head. So I've taught some of you guys the twister side mount stuff that I do. You can look it up. It's Eddie Bravo stuff too. But anytime I play side mount, I almost always try to get to this side mount. Why? What's right here? This. If his knee comes up, toes. Okay? My favorite submission from here is easy. Okay?
And also for the, yeah.
The hips, he's absolutely right. I do that to prevent him getting back. Go.
Because that was kind of my interpretation of the question. Because if he's too low, they'll ride you. They'll just bridge you over. If
Yeah.
you turn, you just roll you.
Yep.
As soon as he gets his hip in my armpit, there's no rolling.
There's a big difference between, even if he's got the underhook, there's a big difference between being here and being here. He can bridge all he wants right now. I'm not underneath that part of his body. Make sense? That was a great point, thank you. Any other questions, guys? Let's drill it one more time. Go first escape, second escape. We got 2 minutes, yeah? And then we'll call it. Good? 1, 2.
jump.
You guys had awesome questions. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for just over 26 years now, and I feel like every time I come to a camp, I learn something new from awesome people. I was in Knut's class yesterday. I thought I knew some lapel shit. I just learned some more cool lapel shit yesterday. So always come to the camps, always come to the classes if you can. I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. Good class. Appreciate it.